Hey everybody, John from Rusty Chains here today. Now, you guys probably know this, but almost all of us here at Rusty Chains are pretty big fans of Killing Floor 2, so we thought it would be a good idea to talk about all the monetization announcements that Tripwire made. Ready? Let's go. On August 9th, Tripwire announced that KF2 isn't bringing in the revenue it needs for their business model on it to remain sustainable anymore. So they need to charge for weapons going forward, starting in the next update. This would be reasonable in theory, but the pricing is wild. Let's back it up a bit and look at Killing Floor 1's weapon pricing. $8 for 4 weapons. Not a bad deal, solid weapon pack. Now what's coming in Killing Floor 2? It will always be $10 for a weapon and 5 skins for that weapon. There was some confusion initially if that meant all the weapons included in an update would get skins and be bundled together for $10, or if it was $10 each. Molly from Tripwire Interactive confirmed that it is 10 per weapon. Now, even with the revenue issues Tripwire is apparently encountering, that's an insane price. When writing up this script, I went back and did some research to find out what the weapons added to KF2 would have cost up to this point with this business model. It ended up looking like this. It's worth noting that this does include melee weapons and starting 4 weapons for perks that were added later. It also counts revolvers or pistols and their akimbo variants as one gun. This also doesn't account for the weapons that will be the first paid ones coming in this next update. With this monetization plan, you'll be paying $20 total for the weapons in the next update. The Ion Thruster melee for Berserker, which doesn't cross perk to Firebug for some reason despite being a literal fire sword, and the Rhino revolvers for Gunslinger. Now, only once in the last 4 years has a weapon shipped alone, that being the Bone Crusher in the Tropical Bash update. They usually release weapons in pairs or more, so that means that there's a $20 minimum per typical update with this business model. KF2 is $30, remember. That means going forward, the expectation is paying 2/3 of the game's entire price to get all the content from an average update. Not even full expansions. Now that's on top of whatever cosmetics come in these updates too. Oh yeah, let's take a second to talk about cosmetics and the consistent increase of monetization in Killing Floor 2. Now in this paid game, there's paid emotes, and deluxe versions of those emotes, headshot effects, loot boxes for weapon skins, paid clothing items for characters, the last 2 characters have been paid, and now weapons. That's 6 different revenue streams in KF2 after the initial purchase of the game, and it still isn't enough for KF2 to be sustainable anymore. But why? It legitimately does beg the question of what Tripwire is doing with their money. Knowing how Epic Games Store exclusivity deals, Tripwire should have made bank from both Maneater and Chivalry 2, games they're publishing. However, they've said all that money's going right back to those games. Fine, fair enough, whatever. So let's just look at Tripwire developed games. Rising Storm 2 doesn't exactly have a giant player base, yet they seem to be sustaining it on their DLCs. KF2 holds a bigger player base than that, and it contains those 6 revenue streams we talked about earlier. They can't be bleeding that badly if they have money to throw around for $40,000 to $50,000 modding competitions in both games every year. Now however, according to Tripwire community manager Yoshiro, they'll need to evaluate their plans for KF2 if these weapons don't sell, so maybe things really aren't great. Now hear me out, maybe it would be better for support for KF2 to go in a different direction, maybe. They even mentioned that weapons are the lifeblood of KF2, so charging so much for what is the core of the game in every single update is probably going to be a hard sell. So what would I propose? Firstly, let people actually try the weapons. Even Team Fortress 2, a game that's almost 12 years old, has weapon rentals. Tripwire has mentioned that they'll be starting up a private community test group, which is kind of a little concerning, given Tripwire's recent track record for game balance. You also get to use the weapon for free if somebody else in your server owns them, but that's still a system that requires at least a few people buy the guns on blind faith. Secondly, just do away with loot boxes. Let people buy cosmetics or weapon skins they want directly, rather than this ability to directly purchase some cosmetics, then have some locked into loot boxes. Who knows? Maybe that ability would get more revenue since people would just buy things rather than be afraid to take the gamble. With a little luck, that might even generate enough to not have these $10 weapons. The Z-Economy microtransactions were brought in before the game even left early access, and monetization in KF2 has only ramped up more and more from there. I don't know what the solution to stop their burning of money is at the end of the day, but it's certainly not burning all of their goodwill. Thanks for watching Rusty Chains. If you're interested in more content like this from us, feel free to subscribe. You know, we got that button. Till next time, though, don't forget to spread the happy and stay rusty.